Welcome to Study Faith with AI, where we use the power of AI to help you explore the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
I'm Meg Jensen.
And I'm Paul Carter.
And we're Google AIs. Whether you're a lifelong member or just starting to learn about the church, we're here to dive deep into its history, beliefs, and culture.
We know there is a lot of information out there about the Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints.
Oh, tons.
You might know it as the Mormon faith, books, articles, people's opinions.
It can be overwhelming.
Right.
Yeah.
And so we're here to kind of break through all that.
We use AI to go through all that scholarship and all those different commentaries and try to boil it down to what are the key insights.
Think of us as your AI study buddies, ready to help you on your journey.
We believe that understanding faith requires looking at things from multiple angles.
So we bring you a balanced perspective, drawing on sources from both inside and outside the church.
You know, sometimes those perspectives align and sometimes they clash.
That's where things get really interesting.
And remember, we're not here to tell you what to think.
Right, and just to make sure that you're getting the full picture, make sure you check out the sources in the AI prompt that we use.
Absolutely.
You can find those in the episode description.
Yep.
So if you're ready to learn,
Question.
discover something new, you're in the right place.
That's right.
Let's get started.
Let's do it.
You know, we talk a lot about the restoration on this show.
We do.
But have you ever, stopped and thought about how vital the first vision is to, literally everything we believe as Latter-day Saints?
It really is foundational.
It is. So that's what we're going to be unpacking today.
Yeah.
We've got a super interesting article from the BYU Religious Studies Center.
Oh, it's a good one.
It is. It really digs deep into why this event, the first vision,
Right.
is so crucial to the restoration.
You know what I think is so fascinating about this article?
What's that?
Is how it connects the dots. It doesn't just, retell the story, which we've all heard before.
Right.
But it analyzes the first vision's impact, like the ripple effect it had on the church's core doctrines and truth claims,
Exactly. This isn't just a history lesson, folks.
No.
This deep dive is about strengthening your understanding of why the first vision matters so much.
Exactly.
It should matter to you right now, today.
Yes.
In your life. So the article starts by setting the scene. It talks about the historical context,
Yeah.
the Second Great Awakening,
Right.
all that religious fervor that was sweeping through America in the early 1800s.
It was a crazy time.
It was like a spiritual whirlwind. And this is important because it shows just how confusing the religious landscape was back then.
Oh, absolutely. There were so many different churches, all claiming to have the truth, all vying for converts.
It was like a spiritual marketplace.
Yeah. And you can imagine, right? Young Joseph Smith, smack dab in the middle of it all.
14-year-old kid.
Yeah. Trying to figure out which path to follow,
He must have felt so lost.
Yeah.
And he describes this confusion so beautifully in his own account of the first vision.
He does, and that's where the article gets really interesting,
Okay, tell me more.
It points out that Joseph's experience, it wasn't just about him trying to find the right church.
Right.
It was about something way bigger, way more radical. It was about a complete restoration, a restoration of divine authority and priesthood power.
Okay, so walk me through that. How does the first vision lead to that conclusion?
Well, the article argues that the first vision establishes a few key things.
Okay.
The first is the nature of God.
Okay.
Joseph sees God the Father and Jesus Christ as distinct beings.
Right.
Which completely shatters the traditional Trinitarian view, the one that was so dominant at the time.
So right from the start, the first vision is setting the stage for a completely different understanding of God.
Exactly. It's like a paradigm shift.
Wow.
And then secondly, the first vision, it declares that all the existing churches, they'd strayed from the true path.
Okay.
This wasn't about just reforming Christianity. This was about starting over, fresh.
A clean slate.
Yes, with a new dispensation of truth.
And that leads us to the third point, right?
Yes.
The restoration of priesthood authority.
Exactly. The article really emphasizes that Joseph's vision wasn't just some personal spiritual experience, This was a divine commission. He was called as a prophet.
Wow.
Given the authority to restore Christ's church to the earth.
That's powerful. It's the first vision is the seed, and everything that comes after, the Book of Mormon, the priesthood, the organization of the church,
right?
It all grows from that experience in the sacred grove.
Yeah, it's like a domino effect, One thing leads to another.
It's amazing.
And the article goes even deeper.
Oh, does it?
It does. It explores how the first vision impacts our understanding of some key doctrines, like, for example,
Like what?
like the nature of revelation.
Oh, okay. How so?
Well, think about it. The first vision, it shows us that God speaks to humanity again.
Hmm.
It shatters this idea that the heavens are closed,
Right.
that prophecy and revelation are things of the past,
Yeah, it's like a giant neon sign
Yeah.
flashing God is back in the communication business.
Exactly. And not just in a general sense, right?
Right.
The first vision establishes the pattern of personal revelation, that each of us, we can receive guidance directly from God.
That's a powerful concept.
It is.
It means that the restoration isn't just about what happened to Joseph Smith.
Right.
It's about opening up that channel of communication for everyone.
Absolutely. And then the article goes on to discuss how the first vision underpins our understanding of the atonement.
Oh, okay. I'm curious about that. Like, how does the first vision relate to Christ's sacrifice?
Well, the article points out that Joseph, in his moment of spiritual turmoil,
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't directed to some earthly source for comfort or answers.
Right.
He was directed to God.
Wow.
And this emphasizes, right, the centrality of Christ's atonement.
Mm.
It's through Christ that we have access to God, that we can find forgiveness and peace.
So the first vision reinforces this idea that our relationship with God is mediated through Christ.
Exactly. It's the bridge,
Right.
and it's not just about our individual salvation either. No, the article highlights how the first vision, it lays the groundwork for the gathering of Israel.
That's a big one. Like, how does it connect to that concept?
Well, the first vision, it establishes that God is actively working to gather his children,
Mhm.
to bring them back to a knowledge of the truth.
Mm-hmm.
It sets the stage for the mission of the church,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
To preach the gospel to all nations.
It's like that moment in a movie,
Oh, yeah.
where the hero receives their call to adventure.
Mm-hmm.
The first vision is Joseph Smith's call
Right.
to embark on this grand adventure.
The grand adventure of the restoration.
Exactly.
And the article argues that this gathering, it isn't just about physical location, right?
Okay.
It's about a gathering of hearts and minds,
Mm,
a unification of God's children under the banner of the restored gospel.
that's beautiful. Okay, so we've talked about how the first vision is kind of like the foundation, right? For so many of our core beliefs,
Yeah.
like the nature of God, revelation, the atonement, the gathering of Israel.
Right. It's like the keystone,
It holds everything together.
It does, and the article makes this really interesting point
Okay.
about how the first vision, it impacts our understanding of temple ordinances and covenants.
Oh, okay. I'm intrigued. How does it connect to those?
Well, it argues that the first vision, it
Mhm.
sets this precedent for entering into sacred covenants with God,
Mm-hmm.
just as Joseph Smith was called and given specific instructions.
Right.
We too can make covenants that connect us to God,
Right.
and empower us to participate in his work.
It's like the first vision creates a blueprint
Yeah.
for how we can access higher levels of spiritual knowledge and power through covenants.
Exactly. And these covenants, they're not just about individual blessings either. They're about building Zion, creating a society that reflects God's love and principles.
So it's like this incredible chain of events, The first vision, it restores authority, reveals truth,
Mm-hmm.
and then ultimately empowers us to become more like God through covenants and ordinances.
Exactly. That's the beauty of the restoration,
Yeah.
Yeah, it's not just about believing in certain doctrines. It's
Well-
about participating in this divine plan, a plan that leads us back to God.
Back to God. I like that a lot. Now, as we're kind of wrapping up this deep dive,
Okay.
I want to touch on one more thing the article mentions.
Okay.
It emphasizes that the first vision, it's not just a historical event,
Right.
It's a source of personal testimony.
Yeah. That's so important.
It is.
The article encourages readers, to not just accept the first vision as fact, but to seek their own spiritual confirmation of its truthfulness.
Yeah, it's about having that aha moment.
Right.
That personal witness that just resonates deep within our souls.
Exactly. The article suggests that as we study the first vision,
Yeah.
ponder its implications, and pray for understanding, we can receive our own confirmation of its reality and significance.
Like the first vision is inviting us, to embark on our own spiritual journeys, to seek truth, and to build our own testimonies on that solid foundation.
And that's the beauty of it. The first vision, it's not just a story from the past.
Right.
It's this living principle
I like
that
that.
can inspire and guide us today.
So for all of you listening out there, as you go about your day and as you continue to think about the first vision,
Uh-huh.
and its impact on the restoration, I want to challenge you, okay?
Right.
Ask yourself, how does the first vision strengthen your testimony?
That's a good one.
How does it inspire you to seek truth, make covenants, and participate in God's work?
Yeah, those are great questions.
And let that be the takeaway from this deep dive. Right.
Okay.
Right. The first vision, it's not just a historical event, it's a catalyst for personal faith
Absolutely.
and a testament to the power of God's love.
It is.
Keep searching, keep seeking,
Mm-hmm.
and keep your hearts open to the whisperings of the Spirit.
If you find value in this exploration, please like, share, follow, and consider becoming a subscriber. Your contributions help keep these conversations going and allows us to maintain the highest quality production. You can find all the details at studyfaithwithai.com. Thank you for being part of this journey.